Hey there guys, KingFan701. I'm back streaming live again. Um, apparently, it's been a couple of days, but apparently I've looked, and even though I didn't see the trailer, I will have to say that the new Thomas reboot that I have been seeing was at first the nightmare that we all dreaded. You know, it was the thing that apparently that none of us wanted, and of course, in the months that built up to this, when many of us were talking about the whole, thing about the ending of Thomas and that this new reboot was going to start the whole thing, you know, I mean, there was a bit of optimism in there. There was a little bit of what if this could be like a whole new beginning or whatever the case may be, or could it like lead back to the Railway series, kind of like, trying to start off fresh, like a complete reboot as it should have been. Well, apparently, as we now know, in the last 48 hours or maybe more, I guess. Um, Look, guys, you guys in the chat box, listen. Listen, guys, just chill out, man. Listen, just chill out, hold your brakes, and stop getting all dramatized about it. Listen, Team Sims, I know you don't like Mattel. Look, I will admit I don't appreciate their latest talent of it, but still, listen. Just chill out about that, okay? Look, because I'm just about to explain everything even about this now because of current info I'm getting. Look, I know you're PO'd, but that doesn't mean you need to lash out. Look, I'm kind of not pleased about the rebooting itself, but here's the bigger picture. Apparently, from what I've seen, it's just that it's a completely different type for a new generation who don't understand who Thomas is, but from my perspective, from my personality, from the whole thing about it, that apparently, according to recent information that I've been getting recently on Discord and in Safe Haven or whatnot, from what I'm being told, is that it's not actually part of the actual canon series. It has nothing to do with the series that we grew up watching with. So this is a completely different universe that's not related to this, and yeah, it's just that's it. It's actually not as bad as you might be thinking it is because it's not canon. It's not related to what we've been watching because they'll still continue. This is a separate universe for the much little younger generation of Thomas who don't understand him like the way we did in our time. Until they get a little older, then they'll see the actual series, and this is what I'm seeing, and I'm kind of relieved that this is going to be the case, but we'll have to wait until later in the year when we see what happens. Well, that's what it is. I think it's kind of is a bit of a spin-off. If it's not related to the canon, it's a completely different type because it doesn't have all the engines that we're very familiar with. All I've been told, is that Gordon is going to act like some sort of father figure, which I will admit he's the most intriguing of the bunch. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Gordon's, and we'll just see how he plays out. That's all I'll know. But the original, listen, guys, look, United States of America, don't you start off, look. It's not the end. It's just that the canon series that we all know will still continue. Yeah, listen. Indeed. I mean, don't get me wrong, Emily did have a cute-looking face, but after all, she did look kind of mature-looking, I will admit to that. But in any cases, anyways, apparently, like you guys saying, you do bring up a good point. I've always said this still anyway. Listen, all I'm just saying is that, like you said, the trains community, like I say, it's a lot better nowadays. They have better content, better storytelling, and if you look back on some of the footage that we saw from NWR in 1991, or Shunter Productions, or Wild No Western for that matter, or even Thomas 102 Henry Furry for that matter as well, or even what's the other lad's name? I think it's who was it again? The other guy who did a good job on the content. I'm just trying to remember now. It might come back to me, but either way, those are names I'm just throwing out there. Look at what they do. They tell the story of Thomas in a way that, the way that the actual series couldn't tell because we bring backstories of their characters, or we come up with our own ideas of what made them come to Sodor, or make some sense, or try and lay in some theories, or put our own creativity out there that can be somewhat compatible. That's something I always think has always worked. I mean, even though Thomas Warner Return 3 did NWR Origins, and he did say in the beginning of his first one in 2015 that they were not supposed to be related in the canon, but it could be that way. Basically, it's maybe TBS canon compared to the Railway series. Who knows? I mean, lay your own opinions about it, mate. In any cases, yeah, Railway Mashup, I'm holding up pretty well. I'm a bit enthusiastic a little bit. Maybe because I woke up on the right side of the bed today, I guess. Who knows? But anyways, like I said, don't worry, guys. Honestly, just chill out about the whole drama. There's nothing. Look, Mattel is definitely on its own downside, apparently, as we know. But listen, a lot of people were talking that this new reboot would kill the series. I won't say it won't kill the series, but it will actually just make the series go down, downhill even worse. But since it's not part of the actual canon, there could be hope for the series itself in terms of the one that we knew that could perhaps continue on. And I'm just saying. But like I said, don't get me wrong. There were some things I will say about the new non-canon reboot of Thomas was quite intriguing. The voice casting definitely was impressive for me to hear. But like I said, it's just not the one that we're recognizable of. It just doesn't seem as it's completely off the rails. No pun intended to the episode itself. It was completely off the tracks. This is basically for the little kids who can understand Thomas in a different way. Until they get older, then they'll get into the Railway series and then watch the actual series. And I think that's maybe what I think this whole thing is going to do. Think about that for a second. That's what I think is going to play out. So in fact, now that I think about it, that's exactly what I think that we're going to aim for. That's exactly... Look, like Asio Gurzo, you're correct. Yeah, this guy right here makes the... Actually, your point stands out perfectly. That's exactly what I think they're going to do now that I think about it, if you rewatch it closely. Well, weird things, that's your opinion. But I'm going to admit, though, yeah, they're going to have to redeem themselves a little bit because everybody in the Thomas fandom definitely blew their stacks in this one. I too saw it, and it didn't sit too well, but at least I didn't go off into a drama tizzy-fizzy like a lot of people in the community have done, because a lot of smart fans who don't even know but forgot they were fans. Yeah, well, I guess, Gordon's basically like the adult variation, apparently. Like I said, I heard that German of Sodor, aka Jerome, he said on Twitter that he'll watch the series because of Henry's sake, because he's going to act like some sort of a father figure. At least that's what they're building him up as, which would be kind of intriguing to see, because it's kind of funny that I'm bringing this up, because I remember way back in my time when I was growing up, I used to look at Gordon the Big Blue Engine as the father figure of the Steam team, because, not because he's the big engine or because he's big and strong or whatever. I just think he had that kind of look upon little engines that could, that he would treat them like they're his little son or something. And I always thought that was the relationship that I think bigger engines and smaller engines had. It's amazing what I'm looking back on now, because I'm kind of seeing a comparison to what this new reboot might be doing. We have to wait until, was it August or October that they're going to release the whole thing? I can't be too sure, but I won't have any intentions of watching it, because honestly, it's not the series we're familiar with. And Mattel are doing what they can to make new things. But at the same time, Mattel doesn't always quite get it correctly. Like, they do it with WWE, they're less likely to make mishaps here and there. But then again, with Thomas, it's a completely different story. I'm just throwing a small comparison. Hey there, CJ. I don't look. I think Edward would be. I think Edward would be more like the. Oh, pardon, good. Pardon, lads, about that. Jaw's killing me. Look, I think Edward would be more of the grandfather of the railways, basically, since he's old and wise. I even thought Toby would be that way too, perhaps, since they're the old timers of the steam team, or among the oldest. You know, if you could count Railway series characters who are even older. But like I said, this whole reboot thing is definitely going to be intriguing for maybe some if we take it step by step. But, as we all saw, everyone's reactions is just all over the place. Complete drama as hell. Which is just not right. All I'm just saying is that I won't have intentions to see it because, think about it, it's targeted for little people, for little kids and toddlers who are only going to start learning in life. And then maybe, like I said, maybe as they get a little older, maybe when they reach about 7 or maybe 9 or 10ish, God knows how old they'll be. But then they'll start looking at the classics, then they'll read the books. And I think that's the evolution of what I think is trying to tell in this modern generation. And who knows, maybe that's the idea Mattel is going for. But like I said, that this is completely non-canon from what I'm telling. It's just not related to the actual series itself, from what I've been told. But like I said, there's definitely going to be some hope for our number one. But I think for the time being, and I think our safest bet is if we continue watching the Trains era version, then we'll be fine, because that's where we are currently at this time in the modern era of Thomas and Friends. I mean, the Trains community is definitely the safest place to be in, because in there we can have our own creativities. We can always, we can let loose and make our own universe and our own characters, our own redevelopment of some stories and how we would like to play it in our days, because that's what I'm doing. Well, at least planning to. I mean, my fanfics are definitely a big idea for that. And if anybody's wondering about what my series would look like if I were to make my own, you can always check my DA start page and just check it out there, because some of the images are actually canon and others aren't. So you have to watch yourself out with that one. Like I said, I'm rebooting because of the whole, apparently, like with Timothy, I'm rebooting his character because, to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, the dark days of Thomas have ended. Ever since I did the 311 film, I just ran out of it, and we'll just see what happens. Because when I reboot Timothy, he'll be a good engine. He won't be evil, but his canon story is very, very similar, just with a few changes here and there to make him more of a likable, a more likable related character, compared to what we all recognize him for in that sort of thing, No, I'm not going to reboot 311, yes, but the thing is, if I was to reboot the film, it will be exactly how I would have had it, had I had full control. And to be honest, the whole story of the whole Clinchfield film will be told a little differently if I ever get around it. If I come out of retirement, maybe I'll tell the story a little differently, but it will follow a similar plot. But just to give you an idea, because I had information that, Shine Ortez suggested to me that perhaps we should do that I should have them tell the story while they're on Sodor, but then do like a flashback type of story, and it takes place during in the United States, and tell it that way. and that possibly could be the best suggestion I could go for. And that's exactly possibly what I might do if I ever did the Clinchfield Curse, if I had it in my full control capacity. But for rebooting 311 as a character is for a separate CSW series I have, which, you know, if any of you guys want to know, you can check in the DA statuses that I have. I haven't wrote any fanfics yet about it, but I do have some planned intentions of doing so. And it's not going to be related to the whole demon scenario or, you know, all that Clinchfield Darkness style. It's not going to be like that at all. But it does follow a very similar storyline, just with a few plots in the rails, should we say. I just have a point of black going. I'm just a bit thirsty. Well, guys, if you ever do, I will show you at some point, but for the time being, we'll just see how this happens, you know. Like I said, we're in 2021. Let's just see how this plays out. Let's not jump to conclusions or, you know, do anything that's going to make us look stupid, okay? That's my suggestion for you guys. All I'm just saying is that that's the best option. Just try and take a break from social media. Don't do what the other guys do on Twitter and Facebook and Discord and DNA and all that kind of bullshit, okay? Pardon my French. I'm just saying. Just let it play out, and then we'll see where it will go. Because that's the best option. Okay? Okay, Team Sims, I have no idea. I have no unearthly idea what you're talking about, man, but that's a little bit weird. Oh, if they do think about railway safety, that would be cool, because definitely safety is a big issue on the railways. I mean, heck, look at what the chassis system did with 2101, you know, the former American Freedom Train. They did that, and then she did the whole thing where Chesapeake and Ohio 614 pulled the chassis system, which was to educate people on grade safety, you know, on the grade crossing stuff, on rail safety tour. That's a big example of what this reboot could be doing. Look, okay, Code Fair 2009. Look, you're jumping to conclusions. I mean, it does look terrible, but we haven't seen the final product yet, so it's still early days. We'll just see where it plays out, and we'll just see what will happen from there, okay? That's all I'm going to say about it. But like I said, after everything that's been just going on, it's bloody crazy. Like, legitimately crazy. I mean, I can't lay my fingers on it, but like I said, you know, I think people need to learn not to overreact themselves, because then they'll feel like complete idiots. Because look at what I've done. I only reacted in my way because I was playing along. So I was faking my overreactions. And I was like, okay. So I'm like this, I was like, this is what they're aiming for. Not my cup of tea, but let's just see where it goes. So that's all I've been doing, reacting in the last few minutes afterwards. You know? But I can tell some of my friends took it a little bit too hard. You know, Cole Fairbear, yeah, you brought a good point. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's almost like those two universes have merged. Sorry about that. Brad, sorry, I know what you just said there, I'm not going to tolerate that, so I'm putting you in a timeout for that. Sorry, dude. It does look like the two. It looks like LM and Thomas have finally merged, but that would be terrible. But then again, at the same time, that's what some of the fans would like to see. That doesn't include me, though. No. It wouldn't work for me. In any cases, like I said, that's just my entire thing on the whole spoiler rebooting. of Thomas and Friends. But pardon my French, last week just killing me a little bit. Sorry, Daniel Brooks, I can't put anyone in today. Not this time. I'm going solo. Okay, but next line, Jesus Christ. Chill the hell out, man, honest to God. As you can clearly see, there's definitely some BS stuff going on here in the chat, which I'm not liking, because it's overreaction, and it's just BS. It's just not correct, you know. Let's just see where this will happen. Let's just see where it goes, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Though I will admit, yeah, when the actual canon went CGI, I could tell where they were going to go. Yeah. But at the same time, when they've introduced characters like Rebecca and Nia and other characters, for example, it kind of drew me a little intrigueness and seeing where they would go. And now the Train series have brought them in, it just makes it even better. It's like because then we could like throw our own creativities of their own canon backstories, their pre-solo eras, and give them a character build-up. Because that's something, unfortunately, the actual canon series of Thomas and Friends just lacks in doing. I'm not sure if that is the case, but that's what I saw from my perspective. In any cases, so like I said, it's just like I said, as for Gordon being some kind of a father figure, who knows? Maybe because he's the biggest and perhaps the wiser of them, maybe? I have no idea. But it will be intriguing to see what they'll do with him in this one. But at the same time, all this has just come out of nowhere, so we can't predict, we can't jump to conclusions. Let's just see what happens when we get there, you know. But at the same time, I have no intentions of watching this one because it's not the one that we're familiar with. I mean, we can still watch the original canon, which is not related to this one at all, because I've been told it's a non-canon spin-off series, I'm telling you. Who knows what might happen? Let's just see how it plays out. Okay. So, enough with the whole drama, BS stuff and everything like that. So, let's just all just cool off and just see where it goes, alright? That's all I can tell you guys. So, that just about wraps up with this small little talk about the rebooting of Thomas and Friends, which is a non-canon related to the actual series itself, okay? So, that's all I'm going to say. This wraps up this small little talk, and I'm going to end it at that. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll catch you up in another stream later somewhere down the line, so to speak. Have a good day. Continue watching the classic series, or watching the Train series of Thomas and Friends, or if any of you want to go back and check out my content that I did during my time in it, well, like I said, try and enjoy the rest of the beginning of 2021. And just to give you a little heads up, I'll be turning 30 years old next week. Just to let you know that, guys. Stay safe, lads, and have a good day. Peace.